Hello, Final Frontier Warriors. I'm Ravneet Singh, a PCE lead instructor. I'm here with another candidate who passed the PCE. A lot of different and a lot of exciting things that she's going to share with us. The best news for me is that this candidate passed the exam after graduating 17 years from the bachelor's degree. So I'm very excited to introduce Radhika with you all, and she's going to give us a lot of tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do for the PCE exam that you're taking in future. Welcome, Radhika.
Hi, Ravneet. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's everything?
Everything.
How is the world looking now while you can call yourself a licensed physiotherapist in Canada?
Oh, it feels great. It feels so awesome after all these years. And I cannot thank you. I cannot as much as I can thank you, it's less for me because you guys made my dream come true. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it, Radhika, because the series of the interviews we named it as the solutions to the PCE. So
Yeah.
we basically are trying to find out the mistakes and that can be avoided by the future PCE candidates. So I really want you to tell me, like, imagine that you're talking to a person who's starting to prepare for PCE from day one. What
Okay.
would you suggest to that person to do?
Oh, the very first thing is go for Final Frontier. They'll help you. They'll tell you everything. And yeah, the very first thing is trust yourself that you will do this. Don't worry that it's like after so many years or after like you don't know what to study, where to start. But yeah, you can do this. If I can do it after 17 years, you guys can do it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, so the first thing is that yeah, get yourself enrolled in PCEFF because this is the best thing you can do for yourself for clearing PCE. And I would rather like to tell the all the candidates that when you study for PCE, it's not that you just read the book and memorize it. It's like start from basics. Like you guys tell us, start from basics. Because if your basics are strong, then when you see a question in the exam and you don't know the answer, but you know something about the basics, so you can figure it out. You can eliminate and you can figure it out. That's for sure. So start with your basics if you are doing it after a long time. And what I did was I started from the basics. And then what I used to do was active learning that Ravneet always says, I do active learning. That helped me a lot. That was when I do a topic in a day, I finish it in a day. So when I was about to going to sleep or something, or I'm doing something else, I used to close my eyes and I used to ask myself, okay, okay, tell me about this topic. Tell me 5 points about this topic. Tell me clinical features of this topic. So that active learning makes you like remember everything forever. It's in your brain forever because you know that okay, I did this today and I am forgetting this, so I need to do this again.
Right.
And the next thing was that whenever I used to finish a topic, I used to do a mock test for sure. For sure. it's not that it's not that I started creating questions for myself that okay, if a patient comes to me and if he's saying that he has this shoulder pain, what will I ask him? What will the first thing come in my mind? And I will ask him. And I used to do mock test a lot of mock tests I did, lot of mock tests. That and the rationals also, because when you do mock test, when you read the rational, you come to know 10 things more. And
Right.
even if you write the rationals in a separate notebook, I used to write the rationals in a separate notebook, and before the exam I just revised the rationals. I didn't go for content, I just revised the rationals because I think we know the content, we just don't know how to solve the vignette style questions. That is the most difficult thing for like Asian students. Like I'm me coming from India, we have not done this storytelling questions.
Right.
Never. We were just asked in physiotherapy, okay, this is the symptoms, what is the diagnosis? And that is very easy to tell. But
Yeah.
when patient comes and tells you that I have this pain and this goes there, you don't know, the story takes you somewhere else. And
Right.
the best thing is read the last two lines of the question first. I What I used to do is last two lines of the questions, then the options, and then I used to read the whole stem, because till that you can figure it out the answer.
Right.
If you have last two questions, then you read the options, then you it's like two or three options in your mind, and then you can eliminate the thing. So the
Right.
best thing is do as many questions as you can to clear this. It's very important.
I think I can totally relate with all the stuff that you said because I think we may have talked about it or not, but I tell this story to a lot of people. Like when I was in my high school, I was struggling with physics, and my dad used to tell me like whatever your teacher is teaching in the class, when you come home, just revise it.
Revise it. Yeah.
Because that, like you were telling me, like before you sleep, you want to revise everything what you studied,
Revise
and you
everything.
want to ask
Yeah.
questions if you really
Yeah.
remember or not.
Yes.
So I can totally relate with that. And the second thing is what you said about the question answers, like mock exams. I can totally vouch for it, because the next question is related to that. What is something different that you did from your previous to the most recent attempt? And you jumped
Yes.
100 points.
Yeah, I jumped 100 points.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. At the first attempt, I was thinking this is a good score I got. Why didn't I clear my PC? But I jumped 100 points in just 3 months, like July
Yeah.
and November. It was not much time, but I jumped approximately 100 marks in all the like
Domains.
in MSK, in
Yeah.
neuro, all the things. So what different I did was, when I started preparing again, I was like, I have done all this before. What is new I'm going to do which will make me clear the PC? I was very, very frustrated. Then, what is the thing is that Kriti told me that start doing the questions. You know the content, start solving the questions. And when you see the question, just keep in your mind the keyword. Start circling the keywords in the question, whichever you think is the keyword for you. So
Right.
I started doing that. I used to circle the keywords. I used to print out. I stopped using the laptop. I used to print out the mock test, like I used to print out them. Then I used to circle the keywords.
Okay.
Whenever I used to circle the keywords, that made me practice, like, okay, this is the keyword, this is, I have to find out, and this is what the patient is telling me. So slowly and slowly solving so many questions. And when I used to get the question wrong, and then I used to see the answer, then I used to think, oh my god, I knew this question, I knew this can be the answer, now I understand. So the when I was to solve the next question, I use that trick in my mind. Okay, this can be the answer also. It's not, it's, you are looking at it, this is tempting to, you are looking at this, and this should be the answer. No,
Right.
the thing that you don't even think of can be the answer of this question.
Right.
So solving a lot of questions made me, like I say, it polished my question solving techniques. That is very important, because direct questions are direct questions.
Yeah.
Vignette style questions, you have to circle them, you have to find out. And what I used to visualize, that there is a patient sitting in front of me and he's telling me that I have this pain, I have this pain. So if I am in a clinic, what will I do? And what I did was, I started working voluntary at my friend's clinic. So I used to take my questions there, and I used to ask people just like that, just like that, do you feel this pain also? Because I was not treating them, I was not a PTA there, I was just volunteering there for
Right.
some admin work. But I used to ask them, okay, so you have this problem, so you do this, you do that, and they tell you a lot of things that stay in your mind.
Right.
So solving questions, I just solve a lot of questions in my preparation for second attempt, nothing else,
So
and
basically
revise the
you
stuff.
use the physical experience to improve
Yes,
your retention.
yes,
Okay,
yes, I
perfect.
did that.
I think this thing is going very well, because whatever you're telling me is connected with the next question. Because you gave the exam 2 times.
Yeah,
I believe that everyone who goes for the exam, they are confident about it,
yeah,
right? And you took the exam for the first time because you were confident about it. What is the
yes.
idea of smart studying? Because you talked about the mock exams already, so we'll not talk about that anymore. What is the idea of smart studying using the PCE Final Frontier model of preparation to your PCE?
Okay, so what I would say is, start with your timetable. That is the smartest thing you can do. Start with your timetable, and if you don't want to follow it, also, like, start, you know um, ticking the options, like, okay, I have done this today, I have done this today, and then gather all the topics. Okay, and if you have a study partner or something, then if you don't have a study partner also, if you are married, or you have family members or something, just tell them to ask you questions about these
Right.
topics. Any topic, whichever is difficult for you, ask them to tell them to ask you questions. And then, as what I used to do for smart studying is, I used to save my time. I used to read your no I used to listen to your lecture, make my notes. Okay, and then in the evening, when slides used to come, I used to read all the slides again and again.
Okay.
And then that day, for me, that day was only this much studying, listening to your lectures, and
Okay.
then going to the slides over and over again, so that my one topic, my one thing is covered today, so that I'm not going to do this interventions for the next week because I have revised enough. And then the best thing is when you, the same thing, when you are done with your studying, just sit somewhere lonely and ask yourself, okay, what did I do in this, what was written there? That page comes in your mind, that words comes in your mind, because you're not looking anywhere, you're just asking. Like I used to do, okay, today we did cardiopulmonary, okay, what is FEV1, okay, what is tidal volume? So I used to ask myself questions. This is the best thing you can do. If nobody is there to help you, also ask yourself questions.
That's a
Ask
great
that, okay,
example of active learning, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
It's like you can't tell lies to yourself,
no,
right?
you know
Yeah,
it, that you
yeah,
don't know this topic, you know
right.
it, you can just be like, okay, no, I have read this topic so many times, I know it. But when you
Right.
start actively like remembering it, you will forget it. And then when you remind yourself, then you'll never forget it. Then
That's
you'll
right.
never forget it.
That's
It's
right.
not jumping over the topics, okay, I'll do this. Don't keep anything till the end, you won't get any time at the end.
Right.
And 1 month, last 1 month or 15 days should be just revision, just revise
Mhm.
all. And what, Ravneet, I didn't go to the textbooks. Seriously, I'm telling you, I don't know, I should say this, but I did not read any textbook. I just read your timetable notes,
I'm gonna
your
stop you
bonus.
right there because my next question was, how did you study non-conventionally? Because everyone wants to read Kistner, Sullivan, McGee, and all that stuff.
No.
So please go ahead.
Okay. No, I didn't go to the books. Seriously. I just went to the books, what you told me, that only once I read all the conditions, all the MSK conditions, all the joints. Only one time I read it. I made my notes. I just revised the timetable materials, because those are the things that you have to know for PC for
Right.
sure. For sure. The other thing is for your basic understanding. Okay, if
Right.
you are not understanding the final frontier content, then go to the books. I
Right.
did not use any book for sure. I only read, I listened to your lectures a lot of times, maybe 10, 20 times now. And I used to go through the slides.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of mock questions. Like the mock questions, I did the mock questions which are in the final frontier. And I used to do it like, if you open Canadian physiotherapy
Yeah.
license exam mock questions, they give you a lot of mock questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You do that once. I used to do it again and again, so that I can memorize the rationales.
Right.
And then I used to make my own questions also, because I have a, like, when I was little, I wanted to be a teacher, so I like teaching students. So I used to
Okay.
make my questions. Okay, this is my question, so I used to make 10 questions myself, so
Mhm.
that I can understand how questions are made, and then I used to solve those questions also, just to make sure that this topic is done. Unless one topic is totally done, don't jump on the other topic, because these are
Right.
all related. Your lectures are all related. If you
Right.
will be comfortable with the last lecture, then only you will be comfortable with the next lecture, because
Right.
they are all connected. So
Right.
don't jump the lectures, go as you are
Serial
going.
order. Yeah.
Serial order, yeah, don't jump them, because they are connected. They are just connected.
Yeah.
So yeah, books are for if you don't understand anything, like from your lectures, and then you can go to the book and read it. But I didn't read any book. I don't have
No,
books.
this is what I want. This is what I really want to change, because you really have to be smart with your time.
Yes,
Instead
yes,
of
yes,
spending from page number 1 to page number 10 from the books,
yes.
I don't think it really requires. You're a physiotherapist already. You just
Yeah,
need to work on the things that are required right now instead of just
yeah,
reading each and every single word.
yeah. Because in 3 months or in 4 5 months, you cannot read
It's
all
not
the books and
possible.
prepare your
Yeah.
all notes. You can't
Yeah.
do that.
It's just
If you don't
overwhelming and
understand,
increases the anxiety.
yeah,
Yeah.
you will feel frustrated.
Yeah.
I started feeling frustrated when I didn't have this course, and I started with the first book, Kistner. You know, when you start
Yeah.
preparing, so
It's
many
a
of your
typical,
friends,
yeah.
yeah, they say,
Yeah.
read Kistner. And I started, and I was like, I'm not giving this exam, I
Yeah.
can't do this now. Then this is the thing, because earlier, I think, I don't know, my friends, they have cleared the exam 10 years back or 12 years back. They used
Yeah.
to tell me that we didn't have any course, but you have courses, so just go for them.
Yeah.
And when I joined Final Frontier, the thing was, it was like studying, with a buddy that is already around you. And that is
Right.
like, my dad used to make timetable for me like this, the PC, that, okay, you're going to do this for your physio degree. My dad was an orthopedic surgeon, so he made my
Right.
timetable that do this.
Right.
Then when I saw yours, I am like, maybe this is a lucky thing for me.
Yeah.
That's the thing. PCEFF gives you a timetable to start and just follow. I just followed that timetable in a serial order. Sometimes I used to skip, always. I used to cover up, but I followed the timetable seriously for smart learning because you can't go through the books in 3 months.
Right.
And I think if you sit down and just do this all for 6 months, you can pass the PCE very like easily. And Ravneet, you know what? First time I was very nervous at the first attempt. I was very nervous. I think I made mistakes because I was nervous because when I came
Right.
out, I was like, my paper is done. It's very good. I'll clear it.
Yeah.
Second time when I was in the examination hall, it was just like solving a mock test for me. No anxiety, nothing. And I was like, oh, these questions, like I know now how to find the keywords. I was so clear that I directly used to find the keyword and jump to the answer.
Yeah.
It came into my
Can
it came
I
in my front of my
can I
eyes.
ask you one more thing? Like from the first attempt to the second attempt, do you agree in the first attempt you were just looking at the screen, but in the second attempt you were more aware about what's happening in the screen? You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I was.
That maturity comes with the time,
Yeah.
and especially when you're working with Kriti, the way she takes her
Yes.
groups and
Yeah.
the way she conducts her classes, it's the healthy discussion that you want to be into, and that makes you a little bit more mature as a test taker, not as an
Yes.
informative person, but as a test taker also,
Yeah.
right?
I was not at all nervous. Like I didn't have any anxiety issues. First attempt was I had anxiety when I was sitting in the examination hall. My palpitation was so high. I had to, drink water,
Yeah.
focus. But then also, what difference I noted from my first attempt is understanding. I understand now also, I can understand the question more well than I used to understand after Kriti's classes because she made us do so many questions and she used to explain us. And that is the difference. When you solve questions, you know the content. Everybody
Right.
will know the content till the end because it's like memorized.
Yeah.
But when it comes in the questions, then the time and the question solving technique is important. You have
That's
1 minute for one question. So she used to tell me, like first day of my Kriti's class, she told me that Radhika, you are doing it very fast. Just work on your speed.
calm
You
yourself.
are not
Right.
reading the questions fully. It's 1 minute with you. And I am like, oh my god, I have this problem of reading it fast and then jumping. You get anxious or you know
Yeah.
the answer and you just jump.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she was like, Radhika, you are making silly mistakes because I know you know this answers, but you are making silly mistakes. And I was like, am I wrong in this question? And I was wrong in that question. And then when Kriti used to say slowly and read it, then I was like, oh my God, I knew the answer. This was
Right.
the answer. I worked on my speed. I don't jump now. I read the question very, very slowly because I know I
Mhm.
have 1 minute. Then I find the keywords, and you can do that in 1 minute.
Yeah.
If we see the time, we are answering in 30-40 seconds. Most
Yes.
of the kids do, most of the students do that. They answer in 30-40 seconds. If you have
Yeah.
a stopwatch, 1 minute is more than enough to calmly answer the question. I then started working out like this. I had a stopwatch and I was like, I have 1 minute. In 1 minute, I can read, I can answer. Before 1 minute, I won't answer. I won't click it because
Yeah.
it's going in my
Because
brain.
you followed the strategies that were told to you, like
Yes,
read the
yes,
goal of the question first, because if you
yes,
understand the goal of the question, then you know if they're asking least likely or if they're asking the normal thing or if they're asking the
yes.
abnormality. So you need to understand the goal. So I
You need
completely
to,
agree. Like
yes,
it's a very common problem to complain about that the questions are so big that you didn't have time to finish the exam. But if you're
yes.
following this test taking strategies, it can really make
Yes.
a huge difference with you.
Yes, and if I want to tell all the students, if you are taking courses, if you are taking PCEF, if you're taking any courses, whatever the instructors are telling us, they know it that these are the problems that we will face in the exam. It's
Right.
not that okay. Sometimes I used
They're
to
not
think that
fantasies. They're
yes,
clinically proven things.
sometimes I used to think, okay, no, this is not a problem with me. I'll do it in time. I can't be like, I'll finish it in time. You think you will finish in time when you see 200 questions, when you are at one. On my second attempt, I was at 160th question and I had only 30 minutes left and my neck was hurting.
Yeah.
And then Ramneer is automatically, I
Yeah.
started rushing. Then I had to stop myself. I said, you are rushing. You are not reading the questions exactly. Calm down. No, don't rush. Just calm down. Use your strategy of 1 minute. Don't rush. My body started doing it automatically. You have to make your brain understand, no, go slow, that's okay. 30 minutes and 40 questions, that's okay, we'll do it,
Right.
we'll do it. If you start jumping, because that is the automatic response of the body, when you see time
Of
is less,
course.
questions are more, you're going to do that. You have to
Yeah.
work on this. So the thing is that Kriti told me that when you do mock test, you also told that in your lectures, when you do your mock test, do it in a situation that you are doing in an exam. Then your brain knows what to do. Your
Right.
brain knows how to finish it in 4 hours. Otherwise, this is automatic. You will rush to your.
Right.
I was rushing so much that I left one question, and when you were trying to submit it, then they flash it that your one question is left, and I was like, oh my god, I left one question. So these things will happen. Whatever the instructors are telling us, guys, these things will happen. We will get tired. We will get annoyed that it's not finishing. We will forget lots of things, and we have to work it out. You have to use elimination strategies, otherwise you can't get to the answers.
I
It's
agree.
going to happen. Whatever you are telling us, like, read the last two lines of the questions first, because that will give you the hint that what are you looking for. The biggest hint is in that last two lines, because
Right.
obviously they are questions that they are telling you a different story, asking you a different question, and you read the story, you are like, oh my god, he was talking about heart,
Yeah.
and you went on heart, and the answer that comes is from leg or from arms or from stomach. They will confuse you. So
Yeah.
we have to listen to the instructors. You have to practice what they say, because you guys know what problems we're going to face it, and I am sure you're going to face everything they are saying, that you're going to be restless, anxious, tired of answering 200 questions. It's not an easy job answering 200 questions.
Right. No, I appreciate for all the tips, Radhika. I think what we can wind up by saying that when you're into a process of preparing yourself, self-belief is one of the strongest tools that you can use, because if you keep doubting yourself, things are never going to work out. The strategies that you talk, the methods of studying and solving the
Yes.
questions, eventually everything comes out to at the point of self-belief that I practiced this for 4 months. This is the time that I apply those strategies instead of building new things during the exam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
No new things. No
yeah,
new
no new
things.
things. Yeah,
Don't change your routine. Don't change your things that, okay,
exactly.
I'll start doing this from now. No, that
Yeah,
won't help. One more thing I want to add here, Ravneet. I want to tell all the candidates, whenever you feel any topic is not good to you, you can't understand, don't just talk to your friends about it or the other candidates or students. Ask Ravneet or Kriti or any other in the group, because you know what, Ravneet, I felt that you guys can tell us more refinedly that what to study and what not to. When I used to ask questions from my friends, and they used to tell, okay, you learn in this strategy, you learn in this way, but your strategy will be same for every student. So
correct.
if you have any problem understanding any topic, talk to your instructors, whom you ever you are following, or talk to Ravneet or Kriti, because I think this helped me a lot, because Kriti knows what flaws were in me, where
Right.
I am facing difficulty. And she told me the last week before that, Radhika, you have to study again your other systems. You are weak in that. Other systems, rest, everything is fine in you. When somebody tells you, then you are like, yeah, I am weak. You don't accept it yourself. I
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm good with other systems. But when she told me, because she read my scores in one of the mock tests, she was
Okay.
like, you have to do other systems. And I honestly, I knew that my other systems are weak. So talk to your instructors. Don't just talk to the other members of the group, like candidates of the group, because they all are preparing. The best thing is save time. Talk to Ravneet, talk to Kriti, and they'll guide you the best. If I can do it after 17 years, anybody
Of
can do
course.
it.
Yeah, it's an inspiring journey, to be honest. I
Yeah.
don't think if I were at your place, I could have done it, to be honest, because it's really kind of impossible to get back to the studies and sit for like
Very-
so many hours, especially with your family and so much going on around in the world. So,
Yeah.
Radhika, thank you very much for telling us all that,
You're
the
welcome.
tips and tricks, and I really appreciate. Speaking
Thank you.
of your passion of teaching, our doors are always open. So
Yeah, please
anytime,
let me know that.
anytime you feel like
I
you
love to
want
do that.
to get into the teaching, um, the world requires great mentors,
Yes,
right?
because I think motivation is required for
Yes.
everybody. Like you motivate a lot of students, you motivated me. Your that one Facebook post that you can do it after 10 years changed my life.
Right.
Like if I can get motivated for only one this line and I just did it. And Ravneet, I also want to tell you this thing that it didn't take me 2 or 3 years. I would like to tell you credentialing takes 6 and 8 months. I prepared like after your course, following your course, I just studied for only 1 year.
Yeah.
Only 1 year, and I am here today
Yeah.
with my physio like license or something.
Right.
So I want to tell the candidates that don't worry, you don't have to study for 2 3. People used to tell me if you want to clear PCs, you have to study for 2 3 years. That is what I it kept like in my
Need to
mind. I don't
evolve.
want to do this exam.
Yeah.
No, if you study the timetable, you can prepare the exam in 6 months to 1 year. Finally, 1 year. I'm just saying that okay, some people need more time or something. 6 months is the best thing you can do with
Yeah.
PCEFF. Just go for this and just study and talk to Ravni, talk to Kriti. They are the best.
Thank you, Radhika. I'll catch up very soon. And thank you very
Yeah.
much for joining us, and say hi to your fam.
Thank you. Great
Bye.
talking to you always. Thank you, Ravni. Thank you. Take care.